New legendary time! So, dudes, in the new update, we managed to get ourselves a new legendary dragon because we've been playing the game for a lot longer than 90 days, but she is the 90-day login reward, and this is the Waterlily legendary dragon. So, this dragon is actually a legendary water and plant dragon, which is a questionable set of elements if you want to put it in your main team, but I guess if this is like your first legendary or something like that, at least you got to start somewhere, hey? So the Waterlily dragon has been used as symbolism for lofty sentiments like enlightenment, grace, and love. When this trainer asked its opinion, it merely burped and demanded some fruit. Wow, the trainer is looking for some guidance in life. And all that you have to say is like, imagine going up to someone and legitimately asking them for help, and their response is to literally burp in your face. You know what? I actually kind of like this dragon now. It's given me a different perspective on Little Bella the Waterlily dragon here. Because when you look at a dragon that is, like, say pristine, pretty, it looks like they've never stepped foot outside of their grand castle before. I don't expect that sort of behaviour. But I like that sort of behaviour and response, you know? It gives the dragon some personality rather than just being like, no, I must do my important castle training. I need to go to a tea party. You know, I don't like that. I like that we got some pizzazz in the actual behaviour of this dragon. If only they had an animation of it doing so, then I think that would be like top quality, 500 out of 10. But, you know, I'm actually not a major fan of the design of this dragon because the more, I guess, air quotes, girly or cutesy looking dragons are like, I don't care for those too much. But I know that a lot of you actually like this dragon quite a lot, so at least you got a free legendary. And I guess you can do whatever the hell you want with it. Why don't we take it for a battle? When was the last time that we actually went ahead and did some low-level battles with some, like, level 20 dragons or something? It has been a while, not gonna lie. It has been a long-ass time. I mean, I've got lots of around about level 20 legendaries and divines. I just have lots of them. I don't really know what to do with them. They're just sort of like left to sit around and do nothing. I guess as you are gods, your requirements of things to do in the day go down. Maybe because, I guess because the divines are around and they're literal gods, I guess the legendaries just sort of sit around and, I don't know, just have fun being slightly overpowered but not quite as overpowered as the literal DML gods. I don't know. It's like, where does legendary come from? Because obviously legendary used to be the old peak of dragonkind, but then when the divine gods came out, that all changed. So it makes me think, what do the legendaries actually do? Do they have a specific purpose in terms of the lore of DML? I don't know. Never really thought about it, to be honest. But it's an intriguing question. For sure. Gets me thinking, because all that we really hear about lore-wise is mainly, you know, the actual characters in DML, rather than the dragons themselves, apart from, you know, they say stuff like, oh yeah, the Chrono Pep tried to murder everyone, or this dragon tried to save everyone, and that's pretty much like the extent of the actual background dragon lore that we get. So I don't know, to be honest with you. But, you know, aside from that, we've got our Dragon's Delight event to continue on with. Although, you may have seen that if you log in after the Dragon's Delight event stuff, then you would see that, or you should have received some event currency as compensation for the problems when the event started. I think it was 1800 Dorbs or something. So you may have a surplus of Dorbs. I've got 10,500 Dorbs at the moment because I've just been logging in to do the quests but haven't actually been spending them. And that is not what you want to be doing during Dragon's Delight events, because it's going to be very difficult now for me to spend all these Dorbs without actually trashing a lot. But that's what I get for not logging in frequently enough. With the Dragon's Delight events, the way that it is you've got to be logging in to do the quest, and you gotta spend your daubs like every hour or so refreshing on dragons that need refreshing. It's a lot of work, and that's why I haven't really been doing any of it so far. So who knows, maybe I'll just be super lazy, get to the end and trash everything like a moron, which is the opposite of how you're supposed to do the event. But to be honest, I don't care too much. It's only a Dragon's Delight event. And just in case you haven't already seen it, yesterday, because it was Friday the 13th, they actually brought out some air quotes spooky bundles, which brings some of the, I guess, scarier looking dragons back for a limited time. And the 3 dragons that they brought out were the legendary Bone Dragon, who I actually really like him. He's cool. Freaky, but cool. But that is a £25 bundle, which is expensive. There's a Boss Dragon bundle for Mrs. Hiss. So this doesn't actually give you the usable dragon version. This gives you the boss version of Mrs. Hiss. And then that's £12.50. And then there's the Muerte Dragon for £8.39p. Just for 1 epic, probably not worth it, but those are the current spooky bundles out at the moment if you are interested in them. I mean, it's not too often you get a Friday the 13th, so when you do get it, you know, everyone is like, oh my god, it's spooky time, it's spooky time, and then everyone sort of, at least the kids tend to have like a mini fit about it, like, oh, it's bad luck to go outside on a Friday the 13th, hee hee. And that's like the extent of it. Oh my god, I've not been doing bottomless dungeon stuff. Why have I not been doing the bottomless dungeon? I don't know. I've been forgetting. Plus I've been very busy doing other things, shall we say. So I haven't really been focusing on the bottomless dungeon for like half a day. I say that I haven't been logging in. I have been logging in the other days, it's just I've forgotten for the last like half a day. Especially with Dragon's Delight on, because Dragon's Delight you gotta do all sorts of stupid stuff, and then having to do this on top, and then battles. It's a pain. It's definitely a big pain, so I'm not in the mood. But, you know, even if you manage to get the special reward dragon from the bottomless dungeon, and things like that, it's still worth continuing on as far as you can go in the dungeon. Because you can get stuff like gem rewards, you can get stuff like Dragon Fury, you can get just the base actual dungeon currency is worth it. Because they're going to bring out stuff like double egg relics and things like that. And trust me, when they're selling double egg relics for 200 gems in the Whale Mart, getting them for free instead is definitely going to be something that you're going to look to want to do. Because it's like, your choices are, do a dungeon run for a week and get a double egg relic, or you spend 200 gems. And that doesn't seem like a reasonable comparison, does it? Of course you'd much rather save the gems and spend them on something else if you can. So that is what I suggest you do. But man, I get that it is a lot of effort doing the dungeon run stuff though. Like, having to sit here, do weak attacks against dragons for like 10 minutes. It's a big long slog, not gonna lie. But at least it gets us extra free stuff, because, I mean, if you want to think about it in one way, before the new bottomless dungeon came out of the dungeon, you basically just got gems, rarely, and that was pretty much it. So, despite my thoughts on the actual dungeon itself, I majorly appreciate the fact that they give us the chance to, you know, get cool stuff for once. Because the old dungeon, some people used to like it, but it didn't really give us a whole lot. It was outdated because it was released years and years ago. And they never really made any alterations to it. So, at least they finally did make an alteration. Even if, you know, in the first couple of iterations, the numbers were way off. And I still don't think that the dungeon is perfect. Because even though it gives, say, players with certain teams or lower level players the chance to get more dungeon currency easier now, I still think the numbers are slightly off. And by slightly, I mean quite a lot in terms of opening up that purple chest. Because the only way to open up that purple chest a good number of times is to spend money. Like, if you are on it every 6 hours, logging in, doing your dungeon all the time, you can open up the purple chest like 2 to 3 times, I think it is, before the time limit's up. But you have to be really, really on it. And, you know, to be guaranteed the special reward dragon for the week, you gotta open it, what is it, 15 times? And that's just impossible for an average player to do that without spending loads of gems on it. You have to spend quite a lot of money to do that as well, and the benefit at the end of the day isn't that great because it's just for one dragon. So I guess it sort of makes up for it in a way because there's the chance to get the dragon out of any chest that you open. But if you're someone that is like desperate for just one particular dragon and it is that weak and you really want it, you have to spend if you want to be guaranteed it. I mean, how many weeks now has the dungeon been on and I didn't get a dragon? It's been many, even though I have been logging in. Not as frequently as a lot of people, obviously, but I have been logging in quite a lot. Probably a lot more than your average DML player. I'm getting very little rewards from doing so. So, feel bad. Feels bad that we're 5 off from this. That's what I get for not using Dragon Fury in a different way. But yeah, this stupid purple chest, it's too expensive, dude. The actual chest itself is too expensive considering all the effort you have to do to get up there. And let's not forget the overpriced nature of this entire dungeon island, which will take people about 17 years to complete. Sure, you could say, yeah, well, it's just a long-term reward. They need to give players long-term goals. Yeah, but is anyone actually going to care enough to spend all their dungeon tokens on clearing this out when there's going to be weekly deals? Wouldn't you rather take VIP tickets in that rather than, I don't know, clearing out a refinery? Probably. So, I don't know, I think the numbers on the dungeon island do also need a little bit of a change up. But hey, that's just me. But for now, that is going to do us. So if you do have the new update, I hope you manage to get your hands on that new legendary. Or if not, you know, log in for a little while longer and then you should get it. But cute little legendary, I guess, to add to our overall collection. Gives us some more dragon collector points. Which, you know, being on the way to that Pinata dragon. We'll get there. Probably never, but we'll see. But anyway, for now, thank you for joining me, and until next time, I'll see you then.